Greylisting is a mechanism used by the global body, the Financial Action Task Force, when it believes a particular country has become a haven for money laundering and terrorist financing. It is the high levels of corruption in South Africa that saw the country red flagged in 2019. Government has had since then to turn the situation around before a decision is taken in February.
We have not reacted adequately to the warnings from the FATF that we are going to be assessed again in February, and we are going to be greylisted because we are not getting on top of the money laundering and to a lesser extent the terrorist financing that is going on through the system in South Africa. So it is a really serious matter.
Government has tabled legislation aimed at tightening loopholes in the country's financial laws. These would only be considered by the FATF if the legislation is already enacted. The Financial Intelligence Center says the implementation of this legislation is key to avoiding greylisting.
Without addressing the legal amendments that are necessary, South Africa will be, it will be impossible for us to argue for the FATF that we've done enough to justify not being greylisted, in spite of anything else that we might have achieved by then.
Some analysts say South Africa does not have the best track record when it comes to implementation.
We can legislate it. That does not mean that it will be implemented. There's a management problem in this country and a sense of urgency to get things done.
What is needed is action now. Let's start working on getting towards where we need to be in relation to serious corruption in South Africa.
Hoffman says greylisting will lead to more job losses simply because South Africa did not react adequately to previous warnings. While Klute adds that lack of political will and poor governance systems in the country doesn't help the situation either.
It speaks of the collective will of us not getting this right. And so the governance, the financial governance of our institutions is at a crisis level. And this is not something new. This is something that we've known for the past decade, and yet so little progress is being made.
South Africa will be meeting with the FATF review team in January to determine if there is still room to provide additional information to avert greylisting. The report from the meeting will then go to the full FATF membership in February, where it will be decided if South Africa has done enough to comply with the FATF recommendations. Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.